Welcome to Unit 6 on Judaism and Christianity. Let's look at the homework. Now here in Unit 6, make sure to read the Unit 6 introduction touching on Judaism and Christianity. Scroll down to the study guide. Take note that you've got to read two chapters, Chapter 7 and Chapter 8, Judaism and Christianity. Read the overview as well, which covers some of the connections between these two religions and their relative importance. Now this is going to be a particularly important unit because Christianity is very important for the history of our country. Christianity is intertwined with the history of this country and the cultural context in which we live. There are a lot of Christians in this country, so even if you yourself are not a Christian, very likely you know many Christians and interact with Christians and see that they have an influence on society or are influenced by society. If you yourself already are a Christian, just like with any of the other religions, still pay close attention to make sure that you understand the different varieties of this religion and to understand what other people think of the religion that you believe. Moving down to the discussion board, go ahead and click on the grading rubric. Scan over that to see what you've been doing right or what you've been doing wrong in the past. It's the same rubric for every unit. You can click on the big blue button to bring you to the thread itself. The question for this unit is, in your opinion, do you feel that modern times, i.e. globalization, technology, etc., hinders the development and continuation of religion? Now, this is not specifically about Christianity and Judaism, but it can apply to any particular religion, and it may not be the same answer for each religion. The important thing is to focus on why or why not. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening in modern times. You might even relate this to COVID and the pandemic and how the pandemic is affecting or has affected religious practices continuing on into the future. How does technology affect community? Does it build community? Does it hinder community? How does it affect religious practice? Does it help more people have participation in the religious practice, or does it distance us? It's kind of like the analogy of social media. Is social media making us more connected or more divisive? Now, if you're in an LPL class, instead of a discussion board, it'll have a journal and it's got the same question there. Remember to check out your grading rubric, which may be a little bit different than the discussion board. Since the discussion board has a dialogue back and forth between different students, your journal has a little bit more emphasis on developing your own thoughts, making your own connections, dialoguing with yourself, you might say, making connections to your own personal life or to other religious groups and religious ideas. Now, the assessment for Unit 6, it shows you the weight here as well as the due date. Take careful note of that. Maybe put it on your calendar. Remember that that is Central Standard Time. You may open this assessment multiple times, but you may only submit it once. You are encouraged to print the assessment and prepare your answers offline. Alternatively, you may enter and save your answers for a portion of the assessment and continue the assessment at a later time. Once all questions have been answered, click the Save and Submit button. The Save and Submit button is located at the bottom of the exam. Right, so you can go ahead and click on Go to the Exam and take the exam. Something that's important to note is that this is a single question essay exam. Make sure that you understand this is an essay. It's going to be at least 300 words, but again, if you put in minimal effort, then you'll get a minimal grade. Make sure that you read the question very carefully. I will not reveal it right now, but the most important thing is reading and rereading and rereading the question to make sure that your answers it accurately and in detail. Very, very often what I see is that students do not quite understand the question on an assessment. Or they may understand it, but they don't quite know the answer, so they answer something very close or very similar, or something that they know that is somehow related. Well, all of that is not quite accurate. Make sure that you're answering this question accurately, that you're actually addressing every aspect thoroughly. Also, in your essay writing, essays are essays because they develop a thought. They start from something simple or a general claim and develop some specifics, like an argument. It has a flow to it. In a similar way, a story has flow. It starts from a beginning, introducing you to certain characters and important ideas, and then develops them over the course of the plot. In a similar way, any essay or article or homework assignment that you submit should have a progression, an argumentative progression, where at the beginning you have premises, which is to say some basic claims, and then based on those you develop your ideas. You give more details, you give more argument, you explain yourself, you try to prove what you said in the first few lines. The best essays for this particular assessment will include lots of details given very quickly without a lot of fluff or filler language that really doesn't have any content. Make sure it's dense, make sure it's careful, and it's accurate. It needs to be thorough and detailed. Again, be sure to email me any questions that you might have before or after completing this unit. I'm available on weekdays during normal business hours, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as within one day, as long as it's business days.